Ah, Brother Garrick, it must be a rare sight for you to wear armor not covered in the blood of your own brothers. I hear that's the Malevolent specialty, friendly fire. Though friendly is probably too generous a term for your lot, considering the only people you kill with precision are your own. What's your chapter's motto again? Aim for the enemies, but don't worry if you hit family.
Coming from you, Darius, that's almost as tragic as your recruitment process. Tell me, is the Lamenter's gene seed so tainted that the Emperor himself weeps every time one of you manages to crawl out of the vat? Oh, wait. No, it's just you crying. You lot cry so much I wouldn't be surprised if you're secretly planning to drown the Tyranids in your tears. That's your grand strategy, isn't it? You don't fight, you just sulk.
At least we have a plan. Yours seems to be burn everything and pray something gets killed. Do the Malevolents actually have tactical training, or is it just throw grenades into every room and hope for the best? No wonder the Inquisition keeps you on a leash. I imagine it's a short one with a shock collar for good measure. Wouldn't want you accidentally glassing an entire planet because you felt like it.
Leash? You want to talk about leashes? Your chapter spends more time on probation than actually fighting. How many times have the Blood Angels sent you on a timeout because you broke something? Oh, right. You're so cursed that bad luck follows you into battle like a lost Grox. The Mechanicus probably wants to study your curse, but they're too afraid they'll catch it just by looking at you sideways. Lucky for us, the only thing you manage to break is your own morale.
It's better to have a curse than a reputation for being bloodthirsty, mindless savages. You're just Angron light. No berserker rage. Just the temperament of a juvenile orc. I've seen you Malevolents rush into battle and kill enemies, sure. But you've got all the tactical finesse of a bolter with a jammed safety. Maybe that's why you're never deployed on important missions. No one trusts you not to butcher half the squad and then claim it was combat stress.
Important missions? The Lamenter's important missions always seem to end in tragedy. Surprise, surprise. What was it? Oh, right. When you got nearly wiped out by Tyranids. Tyranids? How does that even happen? Did you feel bad for them? Were you too busy writing sad poetry about your impending doom? I'm surprised the High Lords haven't just renamed you the Lamentable Failures and sent you all to farm grox on some backwater planet.
At least we had the decency to fight to the last, instead of blaming everyone else for our problems. The Malevolents are like a warp storm in power armor, chaotic, destructive, and about as useful as a lasgun against a land raider. Your chapter's motto should be it was their fault, not ours, because every time you botch an operation, you're quicker to point fingers than the ecclesiarchy is to call someone a heretic.
I'm surprised you have the courage to talk about heretics when your gene seed's been one mutation away from producing chaos spawn for millennia. You're so obsessed with suffering. It's no wonder the ruinous powers haven't knocked on your door yet. They're probably afraid you'll start crying and ruin the mood. Lamenters in the warp? Nah. Even the daemons would rather deal with the ultramarines. At least those blue-blooded pompous fools don't sob after every battle.
Well, at least we feel something, which is more than I can say for you. What's it like living life as a borderline cornate reject? I've heard rumors that your chapter master gives extra rations for the Marine, who can rack up the highest civilian body count. Or is it skulls you collect? I forget, since the line between Malevolent and Warband gets blurrier every day. You're practically a Chaos Warband already, just without the cool demonic toys.
Says the Marine who's part of the saddest lineage in the galaxy. You want to talk about lineages? How's it feel to be the bottom feeder of the Blood Angels gene line? Even the Flesh Terrors look down on you, and they're barely one temper tantrum away from ripping apart their own ships. At least they get things done. Your biggest accomplishment? Surviving long enough to beg for another chance to fail miserably.
And yet we still stand, Garrick, despite everything. Meanwhile, The only reason the Malevolents still exist is because no one's bothered to wipe you out yet. You're too incompetent to be a real threat and too annoying to ignore. You're like a Grox with two heads. An amusing spectacle, but ultimately just meat for the grinder. But don't worry, when you inevitably get yourself slaughtered, the galaxy will shed exactly one tear. From Laughter.
If the galaxy notices, you'll probably be too busy losing another battle while crying about how it's all so unfair. At least when we die, we leave a mark. You're a footnote in Imperial history. The Malevolents might be destructive, but the Lamenters? You're just sad, in every sense of the word.